You're with BBC News. I'm Sally Bundock with the latest business stories. So let's get stuck in with the latest on England's lockdown. On Monday, the Prime Minister Boris Johnson unveiled his cautious roadmap to lift the country out of restrictions. So if we talk you through some of the key dates, as expected, all schools will be opening on the 8th of March, freeing up working parents who've been juggling homeschooling and also trying to work. Then we've got March the 29th, which is a key date for businesses in outdoor sports and facilities such as tennis, golf, basketball. Those kind of sports will be allowed to reopen. And then from the 12th of April, non-essential shops, hairdressers, gyms and outdoor hospitality such as beer gardens will reopen if strict conditions are met. Further steps will follow if the data allows, and from the 17th of May, cinemas, hotels, performances and sporting events could reopen, though social distancing will remain. And the new four-step plan to ease lockdown could see all legal limits on social contact lifted by the 21st of June. That's according to the Prime Minister, as long as the data matches. Here's what he had to say. So what's been the reaction from the business community? Well, let's talk first to Mike Cherry, National Chairman of the Federation of Small Businesses. Good morning to you, Mike. So your thoughts? Where are you on the discussion that's being had between business leaders at the moment that actually some of these restrictions could be lifted a lot sooner? Are you in the camp that says, well, actually, I would rather wait longer and there not be another lockdown than risk another possible lockdown? Does that make sense? From the Chancellor in the budget. Cherry, thank you for your time and for getting up so early. National Chairman of the Federation of Small Businesses. Well, one of the sectors severely hit by this pandemic is hospitality. After losing so much time and money over the last 12 months, some fear potential may restart is too little too late. So let's discuss this with Kate Nichols, Chief Executive of UK Hospitality. Good morning to you, Kate. So what do you have to say in response to this lockdown roadmap, as it were? My next question, Kate, what is the additional support you feel hospitality in particular requires? Thank you, Chief Executive of UK Hospitality. And of course, there is so much more detail on our website and information for you there. Do take a look. If you have a business and you're wondering what it means to you, do dig deep. We've got lots of analysis for you. Now let's look at financial markets because today is an interesting one. Japan ignore. That was yesterday's close. They're enjoying a public holiday today, so a breather in Tokyo. Elsewhere, we're seeing gains. Hong Kong, the big star is HSBC shares. When I last looked, they're up around about 5% on the Hang Seng. We'll talk about that in a second. But let's show you Wall Street, because the headlines coming off Wall Street was all about this big fall on the Nasdaq, down 2.5%. Apple shares down some 3%. Amazon stock down nearly 3%. Tesla a big loser. Facebook, all the so-called FANG stocks, Netflix as well, Google, Alphabet, of course, owns Google. Why? Well, with inflation, the thought that inflation could rise, people are starting to cash in their profits on those tech stocks that have been rising exponentially for many, many months. So some serious profit taking going on, and the tech stocks are down for now. So let's talk you through the news from Europe's biggest bank, HSBC. It announced a 34% drop in its annual profits to $8.8 billion after what it described as a challenging year because, of course, of the global pandemic. HSBC also said it would focus more of its operations on Asia. As I mentioned, the shares are up. Let's talk for us. Mariko, so they had some little comments in there, which is music to the ears of investors, like we're going to pay a dividend, that kind of thing. Talk us through what HSBC had to say. On HSBC, stay with us here. We have so much more to come, including this is BBC News, the top stories. Now, in his first meeting with a foreign leader, US President Joe Biden will be meeting with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau later today. And the virtual meeting is expected to last over an hour and will cover topics like the COVID-19 pandemic and climate change. Although the overall tone is expected to be cordial, there are some contentious issues the two leaders will need to address. Samira Hussain has more. That's Samira Hussain, based in the US for us. Let's get some of the other business stories now. EasyJet says it's... Well, let's stay with India because it's been supplying COVID-19 vaccines to several countries for free to build goodwill around the world. Since the 20th of January, over 5.5 million doses have reached more than 17 countries. Over 10 million have been exported commercially. Many are referring to this initiative as India's vaccine diplomacy. Some experts also believe through vaccines, India's also had the opportunity to counter Chinese influence in South Asia. So how true is that? Arunai Mukherjee explains. The streaming giants are about to go head-to-head as Disney Plus moves in on Netflix, targeting more than just children. Disney Plus launches its Star channel in the UK, Europe, Australia, New Zealand and Canada from today. It's set to double the content available for grown-ups. Well, let's talk this through with Tony Gunnarsson, who's Principal Analyst at Omdia. Good to talk to you, Tony. So is Netflix worried, do you think? As consumers, have we got any data on that yet? For example, when you look at how much it costs, the Disney Plus offering is a little bit cheaper than Netflix, Amazon Prime a bit more expensive than that. You've got Apple, of course. Are we paying for multiple streaming services in households, or are people generally being loyal to one? What's the behaviour like? And we appreciate your company as well. Have a really good day and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.